It's your boy, Tommy D, the nonprofit sector connector. Those island vibes, man. Those vibes talking about Long Island, Strong Island, my island, where I hail from. We get to meet with Long Island Changemakers every week on the show. I call myself the nonprofit sector connector. And I'll tell you something, my guest today, I only met, so Vincent and I really just met Vincent Malizia from A1 Roofing. We only met for the first time in person today. I mean, there's so many relationships now that start that way, like we didn't meet in person and then, kind of know each other a little bit. But I was saying to you earlier, I saw a post you made on LinkedIn, and I don't know if it was, it's going back a few months now, so I don't know if it was about the pizza that you were doing. You get raising money through that pizza campaign, and then I start doing some research and I see A1 Roofing and A1 Cares, and then I called you up because I see it says Chief Culture Officer. So I'm all about culture, right? So we own an employee benefits agency, Vanguard Benefits. We were just rolled out our first 4 Hall of Fame employers, so gang, they know about that. We'll talk about that, keep promoting that because it's important. But Chief Culture Officer, man, that really resonated with me for a couple of reasons. First, I'm all about culture inside of organizations, inside the nonprofit sector, how the for-profits and nonprofits collaborate. And then I was also, that was a title of mine when I was with an organization called The Networking Group, TNG, where my buddy Michael Goldberg founded that organization, and we used to collaborate a lot, so it resonated with me. So happy to see you, happy to meet you, man. Glad to see you in person. Thanks for the cookies, by the way. Appreciate it. I always say to people, you don't need to bring gifts to the show, but when people do, I'm certainly grateful. I really want to go back and just learn about you, learn about the company, and get into what culture really means to you and what A1 Cares is all about, because you got a lot of cool stories. So first of all, happy to have you, man.
Yeah, I really appreciate you having me on the show.
100%, man. Yeah.
Very nice to meet you in person. I know we did a few Zoom chats. So thanks for having me here.
Yeah.
As far as the cookies go, I don't like to go anywhere without a gift.
Your parents taught you that?
Yeah, you know, anytime you go somewhere, we're always taught to bring something,
100%,
right?
Yeah.
So
my parents always said that. Make sure you bring something. I mean, I don't drink anymore, right? 15 years now, but like I still show up with a bottle of wine for people who do drink. Like I'm still allowed to touch it.
Everyone loves a gift.
100%, man. Some people bring me like some swag. A couple weeks ago, we had my buddy Jeff on, who owns the New York Rise, the ladies softball team that plays at Hofstra.
Oh, nice.
He made me a jersey with Tommy D on the back.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'm getting some good swag.
Yeah,
man.
good for you.
I appreciate it. But you're right on with bringing gifts for sure. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So a little bit about A1 Roofing. My father started our business in 1981 as a residential roofing company that my mom and my dad ran. Growing up in the business, my brother John and myself, as young kids, we would beg my dad, let us go to work.
You wanted, like, how old were you when you said that, when you were, like, ready to go to work?
We started working in general at a local golf course, I would say around 12, 13
Were you caddying or doing other stuff?
We were actually picking up range balls.
No kidding.
With the range bag.
The thing where, like, it fits through? Yeah, that's
We didn't have a card.
Yeah.
So,
what year are you talking about?
We were probably 13, somewhere around there. So that's when we first started working. And then at that golf course, we got into greenskeeping. Where we'd work from 5 a.m. to about 2 p.m. every day in the summer. Yeah. And then eventually cleaning golf clubs.
Sure.
But after that, we used to go to the local roofing job sites and we'd clean up garbage, debris.
Sure. So wait, did you do like 5 to 2 at the golf course and then go out and clean up too?
No.
Because
that was separate.
Man, that's awesome.
I'll tell you what, I worked more hours back then than I probably do now.
As you should. This is that's what you're supposed to create. Yeah.
But yeah, my dad never really wanted us in the business. But again, we used to beg him, just let us go work. We wanted to make money.
You think he didn't want you to end up on top of a roof?
Yeah, because it wasn't a very desirable business.
No, sure, especially in the heat when you got tar and
well, and especially back then, in our trade, there was always a lot of drug addicts, alcoholics.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Why do you think that was?
I don't know. You find that a lot in construction, and listen, fast forward 20 plus years, a lot's changed now, and especially in our organization, it's very cleaned up.
At that time, though, that you think was his concern because he didn't want you getting into that element.
Yeah, he didn't really want us. He wanted us to pursue college. Sure. He didn't want us to get stuck in that industry. So, we worked from the time we were probably 15. On and off.
Okay.
And then we went to college, but we stayed local. And from there, we would go to school a few days a week. We'd work a few days a week. And then we got addicted to the money, right? Construction, you're working hard, so it's keeping you in good shape.
Sure.
You were making good money, and we were going to college, so it was really all working out.
Is it just you and your brother John, or is
so we have other siblings, but in the business, it's just my brother John and myself now. So basically, you know, my dad always taught us that in the business or in life, just do the right thing. If you say you're going to do something,
show up,
stand behind it, and do it. And that meant, if you misquoted a job, you still did the job for the price you told the people.
It's on you now,
It was
right?
your mistake, right? So
that's a novel idea in your industry, right? In the construction industry.
Yeah. There's always
a lot of change
There's
orders.
always that change order, right? So we started building our business. Once we got out of college, we were both still on a roof. We were in our late 20s, and we both were saying we have to do something different because this is not what we want to do the rest of our lives.
Meaning, do the work, carry the tools. You want to do that.
We were on the roof doing the work. So we started going to like local networking events, local political events, Chamber of Commerce events, and we started meeting people. And we said, all right, we're going to look to build relationships and to grow our network.
Love that.
And we want to move into the commercial sector. Right now, we were just doing residential.
You were doing mainly residential, yeah.
So it went from meeting people, making some connections, really not doing any commercial work, to all of a sudden, we were walking the roof at Macy's Herald Square.
No kidding.
The biggest Macy's in, I think, the country.
Sure.
And little by little, from the relationships that we made, we started really getting involved with some great clients. And again, it was all relationship based.
Let me ask you this real quick, because that's my whole world, right? Connecting and networking and all this stuff. I've been doing it, I would say, at somewhat of a high level for a long time. Did that come naturally to you? Did it come naturally to your brother, or one more than the other? Like, what's that?
So my brother was the one who really started doing a lot of the networking, and he started bringing me to some events, and I was like, some of the events we'd go to, I said, this isn't for me.
Yeah. Which part?
I'm a very genuine person, and certain organizations, you were coming across people that were not very genuine or didn't really hold the same values that I had. So it immediately turned me off.
Right.
But I stuck with it. My brother stuck with it. And again, you know, you might have met a few bad people along the way, but then all of a sudden you meet that one good person and you're like, all right, wow, this can be a game changer. Or there are some good people out there. So we started going to more and more stuff. And again, it helped us catapult our company. And really meet good people.
So in your space, now are you mainly commercial or completely commercial?
We're definitely more commercial, covering the tri-state area, New Jersey, Connecticut. But we were built on residential, so we'll never eliminate that division. We're still probably doing between 2 and 4 homes a day.
You are?
Just on Long Island. Suffolk, Nassau County. And that's the area we want to keep. And then commercial, again, we're doing tri-state. We have an office in Manhattan. Jersey, Connecticut, and we are in the process of getting a license in Florida as well.
Why? Why Florida?
A lot of our clients up here in the north also have properties down in Florida, and they can't find good contractors.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So, it's not easy to get that license. You have to take. We're taking courses right now, and it's a 2-day test.
You'll have to have a physical presence down there, either from a requirement perspective or just from the matter of you need that.
So once we get the license and we're all set up, we'll open up a small warehouse and probably hire between 2 and 4 people just to get started.
And then you think you and John got to come back and forth at certain times?
No. We have my parents are down there half the season. We go down, and we can go down if we have to.
Are they active in the business, your parents? Or?
Not anymore. No. Yeah, my dad is, he retired a few years back.
That's nice. Yeah. So I'm actually, after I do some stuff today, I'm heading down to the Jersey Shore, and my cousin Al is, he's in construction down in Jersey. So like, here goes my brain right away, connecting, right? You talk about good people and stuff like that. And he ends up getting himself in a lot of commercial stuff. He's a plumber by trade. Like that's where and then it like ripples out from there,
Understood,
But he does some cool stuff. So we'll get you, I can't help myself sometimes. I feel like I'm networking when I'm hosting a show, man. It's just how it goes for me. So when you started to I'll go back to the networking because I love that stuff. So when you started to make some of these strong relationships, I guess you realize, like I do, although it took me a long time to realize this, I know a lot of people, right? And I'm connected to a lot of people. But it's really a handful of folks that are really what I would consider partners and the people who really are there to make good connections and relationships. So I'm sure you can, similar to me, count on 2 hands maybe the people that you really are your go-tos in the space. Is that similar for you?
Yeah, I would say more than that, but yeah, I mean, you start finding out who your power partners are.
100%. Yeah.
And more than that, for me, it comes very natural as well. I want to help people,
Yeah.
and in construction, you're always hearing about the horror stories.
Yeah.
The change orders, or they didn't show up, or they didn't do the right job. They didn't do what they said they were going to do. So when I have a good group of people that I trust, I recommend them, I lean on them, and they do the same to us, right? So I want to know that if you have an issue with plumbing, HVAC, roofing, that I can send you somebody, and you're going to be like, wow, that was an amazing experience.
And when you do that, specifically in your space in construction, I mean, I think it's in all of us. So if I make a referral or an introduction, that really comes back to me. So I got to make sure that I'm thoughtful about who. I mean, unfortunately, in your industry, I feel like, so I call a friend of mine who I invest with. He's been on the show here, Charles Weinraub, the handsome home buyer. Right, does a lot of, he's done like 600 or 700 single family fix and flips. He's a developer here on Long Island, right? And I called him when I was trying to do some construction at my house because we're looking to, the house is not big enough when you have 4 kids and a wife and one shower. It isn't big enough. So we're looking to do some stuff there. And I call him up. I'm like, dude, you do all this construction, you do development. Who can I talk to? And this is a guy, there isn't anybody.
Yeah.
And that's kind of sucks about an industry, like now, of course there are people. But the problem is, like, there's a lot of guys who, like we kind of joked about at the beginning, the quote is a quote, but then they know they're going to get you later on all these change orders and stuff like that. And if you don't know, like, if you're not in the field, then you're kind of like a bit at their mercy, and it's not cool.
What I always tell clients is 90% of my clients have no idea about roofing. Right. They don't know the products. They don't know how it's going to be installed. They shouldn't.
Right.
So I always tell them that whoever you hire to do any type of work, you have to trust, right? Yeah. You don't know what I'm doing up there.
Right.
You have to trust us.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not always the price, right? The biggest thing is you always want to make sure that you're getting a good warranty, right? And some guys will offer their own 20-year warranty through their company. How good is that if the company's out of business in 2 years?
Yeah.
See, we can offer warranties through the manufacturers.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, listen, we're in business 40 plus years, right? However, if we ever did go out of business, the manufacturers take the warranties for 20 and 30 years.
They do, okay.
So we are in the process of installing a roof at Melville on the Greens, which is a massive community, probably the largest roofing project to ever go on Long Island, to my knowledge.
Wow, that's exciting.
It's the largest in our company.
And you guys got the whole, whatever, like,
the entire community. So awesome. It was bid out to 15 plus contractors. It was a 7-8 month process. Yeah. We were able to get the community a 30-year labor warranty through GAF.
So again, if you're out of business for whatever, you sell the business, you close the business, whatever the labor and then the materials are covered.
Labor's 30 years.
Yeah.
So if you have a problem, you call GAF's hotline. 30 years they're covered. Roof leaks, blow-offs, 40-year on material.
Wow.
Nobody else on Long Island was able to offer that warranty.
And and I'm sure that has to do with relationships and your reputation and the connections.
Exactly.
Right?
It's the reputation that we've built through the years. It's the workmanship that we've provided, and we're probably the largest condo installer on Long Island.
Is that right?
As far as roofing goes.
So let me ask you a quick question before we shift into like philanthropy and some of the other stuff. I want to just ask you, do you win these bids on your own, or you guys come in as a subcontractor? From how does that work?
This was direct contact to A1 Roofing, so there was multiple connections here. The management company we've worked with in the past, a few people that sat on the board, had family members that have used us on their own personal homes.
Okay.
So we were connected a few different ways. I actually had nothing to do with this. Okay. And it was one of our top sales guys, Kevin, who's been with us probably 8 to 10 years, somewhere around there. He really started the process, and he just...
And that's relationships. That's Kevin having all these connections.
Kevin had a bunch of relationships. He provides unbelievable customer service.
Right? That's awesome.
And then by the time I wanted to get involved, I said, you know what?
Yeah.
I don't want to blow the deal.
Yeah, maybe. Right. He's got it.
So he had a really good hold on it. And then they came into our office just to make sure we were legit, met our staff, and then we sat down and had lunch with them.
That's awesome.
And we discussed the project and what we can do for them, and it all worked out.
So that's exciting. So I a lot of guys in the space are the head sales guy as well, but it sounds like you have a whole sales team.
We have a whole team. Yeah, we have a large group of people, and again, to your point, with philanthropy and our organization and stuff, growing up in this industry, it was just, they were roofing companies. That's what it was, right? And there was no PTO and, you know, vacation and sick and 401ks and health benefits. And what we started saying was like, well, how are we going to be able to get people to come work here, right?
And stay,
If
right?
Starbucks is paying people $15 an hour, why are they going to come work here for a few dollars more an hour? But they're going to get their butt kicked all day,
Up
right?
on a roof,
it's hard work.
Right, in 90-degree heat.
You're not getting any benefits. You're not getting time off. Like, why would somebody want to do this?
Right. So what? So when did that come to a point where you had to really consider that?
So I would say when my brother and myself finally got off the roof, I just got off the roof. We were doing estimates. My dad was getting tired of dealing with the clientele, and he grew up. He was doing the installs. He was doing the estimates, the billing. He was tired.
He was tired. Period.
He was tired.
Yeah, he was done. Yeah.
So my brother and myself started getting more in the business end of the company, and just as you would imagine, just when I was just starting to work like a gentleman and use my college degree, I got a call from Suffolk County Police.
Okay. Oh, you got called for the job?
I got called for the job.
Wow.
So now I was like, now what am I going to do, right? I just bought a brand new house. We're about to start having kids.
Pretty appealing to go take that job, man, right?
It was. So I went through the whole process, and I was offered the job, and I wound up turning it down twice because they can put you on hold and then you do it again. And it was a tough decision, but it's one that I'm very happy that I made.
Yeah.
So when we started getting into this, you know, now that we were doing the estimates and more of the business, we had to hire more people because we needed guys on the roof. We needed to start eventually getting some other salesmen. Eventually, we started out, we were doing everything, and it was fine. But all of a sudden, we got busier and busier. And we bought a small little office building, and we're like, oh, we'll probably rent half this.
Yeah.
And within a year, it was packed.
Yeah.
And the phones wouldn't stop. And we're like, it was just, we were picking up steam.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So we were like, what can we do differently? Why are people going to want to come work here? So we started making small changes, right? This can't happen overnight. So we started implementing, you know, everybody would get vacation pay, sick days. And then eventually we turned to health benefits, 401k, holiday pay.
Yeah.
Right. One of the days.
This is different from your competition, right? Like what?
Well, yes. I mean, to my knowledge, you know,
at the time, I'm sure.
At the time, yeah. I mean, listen, we don't really pay attention to what anyone's doing. We kind of stay in our own lane, and we just focus on what we can do better. I don't want to know what they're doing. We just really focus on our mission, our vision, and so we started bringing in some of these small things. And again, one of the days I always hated working was the day after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Everyone was off.
So you give everybody that day off?
My wife and her mom and her sister would go shopping for Black Friday.
Yeah, my wife
and I would get up, and I would just always remember being miserable.
Yeah,
I got to go work, and everybody's off. So we give the entire office staff off, and then the field guys have the option if they want off, which most take it because it's a nice.
It's
few
great
days
to have that weekend.
reboot.
Sure, family time, man. Yeah, and like if you got kids that were away at college or something, they're back in town. It's family time. That's great.
In construction, it's always been known like you'd work 6 days a week, right? You work as much as you can work. And again, we were like, you know what? We're going to shut down Saturdays and Sundays. And it was a tough decision to make because we felt like that extra day of work made up for if you had a rain day, right? Or if it was too hot and you couldn't work, it was more revenue. But what we found was giving the weekend off to our field employees, it gave them a boost. They were rejuvenated. They had energy. They spent time with their family. They got that sleep they needed. Their body got the rest they needed. So in reality, even though we were losing that extra day of revenue, we felt like we were gaining more production during the week.
Man, that's unreal.
Because they were getting more relaxation. They were getting fulfillment from their hobbies, their family.
And they were still making the money, right? Like it wasn't like, oh, I can't lose that day, right? So you would, however you situated this, you know, they were still earning what they were.
Financially, they were still making the money that they needed to make.
Okay, so that's a big part of it. So by doing that, and seeing an increase in, dude, that's a home run.
So we would find some staff members every now and then would say, hey, can I pick up a Saturday here or there? Or some of our clients, we have to work weekends or nights. So we try to make it
That was more the exception, not the rule.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We want to know that, and I tell my staff this all the time. I tell them, if you're getting up every day and you're miserable coming here, then you're not being fulfilled here, and you should go find something that's fulfilling you. So we have employees that we've helped start their own businesses, whether it's competing roofing companies. One of our employees was just not happy. He loves rock climbing. He just launched the start of his rock climbing business.
Come on,
Yeah.
no kidding. Here is it local?
He's in I think like the Setauket area in Suffolk County.
Cool.
But our whole reasoning was like we want people to enjoy what they're doing. So if you're coming here and you're not enjoying it, let's figure out what you like to do.
Yeah.
And we're not going to be upset with you. I'd rather you tell me, hey, listen, this is not what I planned on.
That is so. But again, that is so selfless and thoughtful. Like not.
Yeah.
I think there's a trend that younger entrepreneurs like us think that way, and certainly even the younger next below us. But that wasn't the old school way of thinking.
No.
You know, it really, really wasn't.
Well, especially in construction. In construction, there's a lot of yelling, a lot of screaming, and that's just kind of how they manage their employees. So for us, we said, that's not how we're going to do things, right? If you make a mistake or if a roof leaks because of an oversight or something you did, me calling you up and screaming and yelling at you, I don't think it's going to make you feel any better about the situation.
No, it's not.
So we try to learn from it.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you're making the same mistake over and over, we're going to have a problem.
We have to talk.
But we try to speak to our staff about, hey, and we first of all, we empower them to make decisions, right? Because we want them to know that it's okay to make a mistake. That's how we've learned, right?
Yes.
We made many mistakes getting to where we are today. But it's learning from them, and that helps you grow.
And you and John can't do it all. You need empowered people that are going to do the work. Otherwise, you can't grow. I love that.
Exactly.
But that's that last piece you said. That's why we hire these people. We hire people so they can do the stuff, right? So we should let them do the stuff. All leaders. I was with a friend of mine yesterday, and not all leaders can delegate and things like that. Yeah.
So that's one of the things. Like in the beginning, it was hard for us because we didn't have people working for us. We did the work.
Yeah.
Right. When it came to roofing, we did the work. I didn't say, go grab me a bundle of shingles. I went down and grabbed the bundle of shingles, and I did the job.
Yeah.
So when we started hiring staff underneath us, it was actually hard to tell people. I would always ask them. I say, "Hey, can you do this,
please?"
And they
would you mind grabbing?
They would actually say to me, "Don't ask me.
Yeah, I work for you.
I work for you. That's my job." But that's just who we are.
But that's who you are. But that's compassion and love and care for people, right?
We're not micromanagers.
Yeah.
We hire people to do their job, and we want them to do it well. And again, if there's a mistake that's made, we learn from it, we grow, and we all move on.
And that's so important. And I'm sure that level of culture, we'll get into the culture piece, but it really resonates with your clients because they see that. And they look, we all want to work with I hate the word vendor, but in cases where vendors, I like the word solution providers, but we all want to work with people who provide services who care about their people. You said about construction and pricing is not all. I want to work with somebody who cares about their people because I know the people care about them, you know, and are willing to give that commitment.
Yeah, so one of the things I always do when I have people working at my house or my building, I ask them, I say, how is it to work for...
You ask the employees, the staff.
Yeah, how is it to work for the company that you work for? How are the owners, you know, like, because the employees will tell you everything.
Yeah.
And I know, like, my family is very big on Long Island, so when they run into one of our trucks or a crew, they'll always ask, like, how Vinny and John, they good to work for?
No kidding, is that right?
And, you know, for any feedback I've gotten is that, you know, they always say positive things, but more than that, roofing is hard enough, and I know that firsthand. It's cold, it's hot, you're fighting thunderstorms, it's dangerous. You want to make it as fun as possible, right? So we try to set up, I don't know, we probably set up a dozen events a year with our team, whether it's a happy hour, we do toy drives. We're doing one at Stony Brook Children's Hospital.
Yeah, well, tell me, so we finished that thought about the events, and then let's talk about Stony Brook.
Yeah,
I want to talk about A1 Cares, too.
We try to do a lot of different events where the staff is like, hey, it's not just like roof.
Right.
It's, hey, come have a drink with us. Come for dinner with us.
How big is the staff? How many employees do you have?
So we fluctuate, but we're probably around 100 right now.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so we want them to know that we're not just looking for you to make us money. We want you to enjoy some of the time here. We want you to meet some of the accounting staff and the operations team.
Well, because
and
I'm going to collaborate, and the more I know these people, it's family.
Yeah,
it feels like a family environment.
Well, we have somebody that works for us whose family is also in the roofing business, and we do a company retreat every year. It's like a 1 to 2 day retreat somewhere within 3 hours of driving. And it's a time for us to all build, learn, grow.
The full company?
Not the full. We do full office staff and a bunch of our foremen and then some of the number twos.
Wow.
And he stood up and said, hey, I worked for my family my entire life, and it feels like I'm working for family more than ever with your company.
Wow.
And it just said so much to us.
That's awesome. Yeah, I want you to tell me about A1 Cares because I don't want to run out of time. I want to know what that's about.
So we've always done a lot with charities. We donate our time. We donate money. I was part of a Kids for Kids Foundation, which are good friends of ours, who they're doing unbelievable work. But it was always a vision of ours to start our own nonprofit. So in 2023, we started A1 Cares, and our mission was we want to help local organizations, local families, local people. We've done a lot for St. Jude's. I visited there last year. It's unbelievable what they're doing. But we said, how can we do more local-based charity events? So it's not just about raising funds. It's about raising awareness, right? So we had our first big event last March at Oheka Castle. We teamed up with Connection, which is Mary Haven, Angela's house, and we raised close.
My buddy Scout Frank is over there from Bikers Against Child Abuse, Long Island. I think he's their chief administrative officer of facilities or something.
Met some really good people.
You know those guys, the Bikers Against Child Abuse?
I do not. No.
We got to get you connected. So they do really good work.
Yeah, so that was our first big event. We raised close to $200,000.
Wasn't there a theme or something like that?
It was a Great Gatsby theme.
So, yeah.
We had an unbelievable support system, unbelievable turnout, and everyone had a blast. But more than that, again, we did a dinner for breast cancer awareness. I have a good friend, mid-30s, diagnosed with breast cancer, I think it was stage 4, which I believe she just beat it.
Wow.
But we set up dinner at all local restaurants, and a portion of the proceeds went to breast cancer. And then, again, toy drives. I just donated some time at the Mary Brennan Soup Kitchen, the largest soup kitchen on Long Island, which was amazing. And then
You bring staff out, though, for that kind of stuff?
We invited our staff. I only had a few staff members that were able to attend.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll pay you for the day to come out.
You'll pay for the day for a day of volunteerism.
Exactly.
Dude, that's a game changer. Again, only because I know so connected to what we do. I talked maybe about the Vanguard Benefits Hall of Fame Employer Award, something we rolled out. I'll shout them out. Sunrise Credit Services, ECM Medical Management, CP Nassau, Cerebral Palsy Nassau County, and Rise Life Services. This year, they happen to be all 4 clients of ours. But it's that stuff where you're talking about you're going to pay somebody to go volunteer. Yeah. That's a game changer, man.
It's just, I find that it's so fulfilling when you do stuff like that. But one of the biggest things we did was a friend, somebody that I went to high school with, right? We played basketball together growing up. He lives in the same town. Everybody graduated high school, went off to college, had families, and I'd run into him here or there. Great guy, married, 10-year-old son, and it was brought to my attention that he was diagnosed with a brain tumor. And I would run into other people and like, I wish we could do something, And I looked at my brother and my cousin Anthony, who's on the board, and I said, well, there is something we can do. And I reached out to a local pizza place, the 2 brothers, Rocco's Pizza in Mount Sinai, and I said, we're going to do pizza night, and we're going to raise funds for this family. Are you guys interested? Without hesitation, they said, we're in.
Yeah.
We spread the word through social media, and we had hundreds of people come out that night. Rocco's Pizza was the busiest they've probably ever been in their history.
Yeah.
And with the local fire department in Mount Sinai and all the families and the sports teams, we raised $35,000 for this family. I had friends, people coming from high school I haven't seen in 20, 30 years, people coming out with their families, soccer teams.
So what, they're coming to Rocco's? They were ordering from Rocco's that night?
So we picked a night during the week.
Yeah.
Tuesday night, a slow night.
Yeah.
And we raised $35,000 for this family. And more than that, this guy who was in a wheelchair, wasn't feeling good, who was sick, was there that entire night. And he had a great night. It gave him energy. It gave him a boost. And I've never seen a community come together like this.
I love it, man. I love everything you're doing. I'm glad. And I think that might have been the post that I saw that I learned about what you're doing. And I said, who is this guy and what's he doing? I got to know him. It's just funny how we're in these same worlds and we hadn't connected, and I'm glad we have now.
Yeah,
I appreciate you being here, man. That's
Thanks
how quick
so
this
much.
show goes, bro.
Awesome.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Listen, gang, I mean, what can I tell you? Listen to the stories we're talking about here. You don't have to get involved, but I think you should get involved, gang. You should be connected to your nonprofit community, volunteer, get involved, support your staff, give them the opportunity like Vincent and his team are doing over there at A1 Roofing and obviously A1 Cares. I call this show Long Island Changemakers, and it's one of those things where it makes sense in the name. So these are people changing our island, and I get to hang out with them. I tell you all, make it a great day. I'll see you next time. This is another In Focus production. I'll see you guys later. Bye.